Okay, guys, so video number 6. All right, so we're going to go into how to apply your high and your no days. Okay, so if you didn't watch the first couple of videos, make sure you go back and watch those videos so you can understand where we're at. All right, so let's just talk about one thing here real quick. Okay, so those numbers for some of you guys may seem very big. Some of you guys, they may not, which is fine. Well, let's just take, for instance, I know a lot of people a lot of times look at me and say, hey, Grant, 111 carbs, that's a lot. I don't know if I can get all those in. So let's just think about it like this, okay? So if I have 111 carbs, okay, all right, we're supposed to be eating a breakfast, a lunch, a dinner, okay, and we're supposed to be eating 2 snacks there, okay? So that's a total of 4 meals. Let's just stay with me on that, okay? So 111 divided by 4, okay? So our goal for each meal is 27 grams of carbs. Now, that's for every actual full-on meal. Now, we're not going to eat a meal for our snacks. I'm not expecting you guys to, okay? So we're going to take 27, and since it's, once again, breakfast, lunch, dinner, okay, there's 2 snacks. So snack, snack. We take those snacks, we put them together, and we call that one meal, okay? So now we divide them back out, okay, we consider it half a meal, okay? So 27 divided by 2, okay? This is what my snack should be. So 13 and a half grams. So snacks, okay, meals. So it's pretty simple, okay? So when you look at it from that perspective, 27 grams of carbs, that can be done pretty easily. Let's just kind of go into it. 5 ounces of sweet potatoes is 5 carbs roughly per ounce. So it's 5 ounces of sweet potatoes, and you're at 25. You're actually over 25. So oatmeal, a serving of oatmeal is that P28 bread, things like that. Those are in that range, if not higher, a lot of times. So what you will have happen, a lot of people will tell you that no carbs past a certain time. Right now, it's not that big of a deal, okay? But if you want to follow that, what's going to happen is you'll notice your breakfast foods and your lunch foods have a tendency to be a little higher carbs. So let's say that I, for breakfast, had 34 carbs for some reason. So I had 34 carbs, okay? So I went over, of course, okay? So, and then let's say that for lunch, I do another 34 carbs for some reason. So I'm 14 carbs over where I'm supposed to be. All right, so if I'm 14 carbs over where I'm supposed to be, that leaves me with 13 carbs to intake at night, which isn't very many at all, to be honest with you guys. So that's like, once again, it's 2 ounces of sweet potatoes, which is a couple little blobs of sweet potatoes, not very much. All right, so very easy way for us to determine on, from a daily perspective and from a meal perspective, what we're supposed to be at each meal. All right, so make it simple, guys. Don't make it complicated. This makes it super simple if you want to break out each thing that way. Okay. So it can get overwhelming with a lot of the big numbers. So that really helps bring the perspective and make it a little more realistic for you guys. Okay? So carb cycling. Now, the concept of carb cycling is this. Our body wants to do this. It wants to stay the same. It wants this straight line. Okay, now the point of the carb cycling is to have waves. It's like fluctuations. Interval training for training and working out, and our metabolic days is designed to elevate and change heart rates, okay? So same thing for food. Our goal is to elevate and change our caloric burn and how fast we burn stuff, and to prevent ourselves from getting into this, which this is associated with plateauing, okay? All right, so what we're trying to do is we're trying to develop a concept and an idea that is going to have food that intakes here, okay? We'll have a high calorie influx, so like let's say a high carb day, and we go up here like that, all right? So lines here, we'll do like that. Okay, I'll make it easier here. Okay, so our goal is to have this food intake here, but then we have this huge influx of food intake. Okay, so that's a little harder to see. Okay, yeah, there you go. So we have this influx of food intake, okay, which is a high day, okay? Our body wants to get down to this, back to normal. Even though we need to intake a lot of food, it wants to get back to this norm, okay? Or it wants to do one or two things. It either wants to get back to that norm, or it wants to make this your new norm, which is what causes us to get body gains, or weight gains at a gradual speed over years, and they wind up getting really hard to get off. So those are the hard gains. Okay. So it wants to get back to this. So this is where you would intake. This is like a high day. All right. Now the next day, when you intake a no day, your body is going to start coming down off of this. And what happens is it wants to get back to this really quick because it's concerned and it thinks that you may intake some food again like you did the day before. And if it does, it wants to kind of swoop back up and kind of ride the wave right along this natural median, okay? If you intake way more than that, it takes it up, and then eventually it says, okay, let's just keep it up here because Grant, that's where Grant wants to be. So it starts going down here. Now, the fact that you're doing a no-carb day makes it drop below this line. Now, when we drop below this line, that's a good thing. Now, it's a bad thing for most people because they start getting the urge of hunger a little bit, all right? So, which is fine and is typical, all right? So you're going to have to kind of bear with it a little bit on those to see, is it unbelievable hunger, so hunger and being exhausted and, like, passed out and, like, not being able to do anything, those are different. Hunger it's a thing, okay? And it's the thing you deal with. I'm hungry right now, and my stomach is growling. So everybody's going to be a little bit different, all right? But I'm not tired. I'm not exhausted. I don't want to go to sleep. I'm just hungry from having a high carb day the prior day. All right, so comes down, all right? This is the no day, the process here roughly, okay? We do another no day, okay? So the reason why we do that is our body will want to still go back up to the top, and it'll find out a way, okay? So it's going to go here, and it's going to plateau for a second, and it's going to come up here just like that, okay? So there's another no day. Okay, so no day, no day. Now we're back to the line. Okay, so the body's back to the line. It's got back to where it finally wants to be. Okay, and then we're going to then change it again. Okay, so that's when again we would intake high carbs again, and you can see how we're getting this fluctuation. Every time we hit this fluctuation in this bottom end here, we're getting a leaner, toner look. Those days, you guys will feel different things. You'll feel energy differences. You'll feel like tightness, and I always tell the ladies, you guys know this better than anybody. You wake up one morning and you're like, man, I feel really good. I feel really tight. I don't feel bloated. Those are things that we're looking for, okay? So we continue this cycle, okay? This is kind of the concept and the idea, and it's kind of like that, all right? So it can fluctuate a little bit from there, but that's kind of the concept and idea that we're using, all right? So there's nutrition video number 6. We're going to now talk more about how to apply this to you guys.